Very good.
May I have attention for a few moments, please? Before we get proceedings underway, I'd just like to outline to you the sequence of events for the afternoon. And as you will appreciate, on such a historic occasion as this is for the club, we will have a few guest speakers. When the speeches are completed, I will then call on our club chairman, or our club president, Billy McCarthy, to make a presentation to the Oak John Cumuloo Cascade Sean McKay. Then the president will be asked to unveil the plaque on the wall, cut the ribbon going into the complex, and declare the place officially open. Then our local priest, in conjunction with the Reverend Venerable Bantry White, will perform the blessing, And committee members will then be available to take you on a guided tour around the premises if you wish to have a look. And when that's all completed then, we will adjourn to the hall inside where we have plenty of food for everybody. Okay, so we'd like everybody to join us for the meal afterwards. Okay? So without further ado, I'd like to call on Cathaoirleach Look and Common, Dermot Holland, to address you, please.
Drawing, Ara, Cathaoirleach, Arica, a Cortori, a Common Lucaska in a Dubsha, Babalum, Forges Fair, Quiroiv, or no Coid Vor, Shodar Club. Shaw and Law, Oscar Lee Mead, no Shomri Festus Nua, August on Shomra Gakiopta. Babalum of Wakus, a Gwaliv Gulair, Osfair Lawyer. As I stand before these magnificent new facilities, my mind goes back to being a 10-year-old and togging out in an old house down the village and running up the village with numerous others to play a match in the field above. So much has changed since then. The village has become a suburb with a major expansion in population. The club remains at the centre of the community, but has had to grow significantly to meet the ever-increasing demands placed upon it, to cater adequately for the youth of the area and our ever-increasing membership. The growth and development of the club has been made possible through the active participation of all our members, and under the guidance of our immediate two past chairmen, Matt Toomey and Darrell Regan. The builders for this latest development were Moran O'Shea, and together with our engineer Joe Sullivan are to be complimented on finishing the project on schedule and within budget. The location of the club is also significant in that it adjoins the local primary schools for boys and girls. The club was innovative in placing a youth development officer into both schools, and this has proved mutually beneficial. This has been part of our policy of Mullen Oiga August Chucky Street and has led to our tremendous success at underage level in recent years. In the same period, we have achieved the status of senior rank at both hurling and football, and our journey ahead is clearly plotted. The local community has always supported the club, and I would like to take this opportunity to thank the many sponsors in the area, many of whom are present today. We are also particularly pleased with the attendance of our local clergy, who have always had a strong involvement with the club, and we were delighted at the use of our hall for Mass for a period during the recent renovation of the local church. I would like to offer a special word of welcome to our local public representatives. We appreciate the work they have done and continue to do on our behalf. We're delighted to have the Lord Mayor, Councillor Tom O'Driscoll, and of course our local Minister, Micheál Martin, who is no stranger to the club. We are particularly pleased, of course, that some of the Minister's family have seen the light and have come and joined our club. I would like to thank the government for the provision of the lottery grant towards this development, and I am sure if the need arises, which of course it will, they will not be found wanting in the future. Our honoured guest here this afternoon and the person who will perform the official opening is the President of our association, Mr. Sean McCabe. It is a great honour and privilege to have you with us today. I know that you have an extremely busy schedule, and I would like to thank you most sincerely for taking the time to be with us on our very special day. The President is also joined by other representatives of the Association, including the Chairman of the Munster Council, Mr. Christy Cooney, and officers of the various branches of the Association here in Cork. We thank them for their financial support and guidance over the years. In conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, I stand here today as a representative of all my fellow club members who give of their time so freely to make this club what it is. As you look around at what has been created by the members, both past and present, you see that the foundations have been laid to make Douglas GAA Club a major force in both hurling and football in the years ahead. Thank you very much.
secretary. Kidinala, Arvia Crocky, Macedon.
Well, I Cahir League, agus a Updran, Common Lucas Square, a Ear Updran, a Cahir League, Corl in the Moon, Aras, Line Douglas Lanny, Hockey Dale, Colori, Ox, Gwinuish, the Galair. Tá anna has sort of been Sholiver, no Kite, Darul Shop, agus Pawala Meduspire, the Weakest of Wild Dive, as up to Guirisha, agus Corgardigus Wild and Common, as up to number Untuk, a Tadente, a grave Harnab Leona. And in paying tribute to Douglas, I want to particularly to compliment all those in the community here who've put in such a tremendous voluntary effort over the years. And obviously today is a very, very significant occasion for all those associated with the club in any way. And I want to wish you well. It comes, of course, at a time when you've had significant breakthroughs in recent years. You're advanced to senior ranks in football in 1997, and of course 2 years ago you also joined the senior ranks in hurling. And I think these are very positive developments in an area with such a large catchment area. And I'm sure that in a way, there's a tremendous responsibility attached to this club in terms of promoting hurling and football in this part of the city. And I want to wish you well in your endeavours, because we are, of course, in Ireland, like it or not, becoming a very urban society now. And Common Lucas Square, of course, has had a hugely positive impact on Irish society for over a century. But the reality is that as Ireland changes to a city and towns-dominated society, the association will obviously have to strengthen its profile in the cities and towns if it's to maintain its leading position in Ireland. And I know that Douglas, this progress which Douglas are making is very, very welcome indeed. And it's great that we remain essentially a community-based society, and this sense of being part of a parish and belonging to a community, it's more important than ever that we keep that way of thinking, and this is why developments of this sort are most welcome. So again, congratulations to you all, and I hope that this new facility will stand you in good service for many years to come, and that you will enjoy the success you deserve on and off the field. Gormila Mahagavarich.
Uachtarán, Common Lucas Square, Sean agus Cahirlig, Paul in the Moon, Christy Cooney, agus Machidas and Erastus, Tuckty Doyle, John Dennehy, Bethel Keith, and Simon Coveney, agus a Gwynoush, Galair, Ider, Clare, agus Tua, while I'm a fear of weakness of a while, and Common, as up to Cuda, and Shohanov, agus Cogardigas, a Yen of Leshen Gumman, as up to Dulcan Keen Unsucht, a tall of Feshkint, a written of Biente, ní Hawaiian an farc ach nas mod an farc chomá. Agus inis tá onad den chéad scothagwing san onad seo agus ag Douglas. Agus is ceart agus is cór to make sin marsin, mar is léir doing galéir go bhfuil siise ag tuairt ara agus ag tuairt takeíocht annach le daoine óga ar fud na háite seo agus ar fud na dúice seo. Agus gach seachtain, gach deire seachna, Tag na míte daoine óga don onad seo chun cluichí peile imáíocht expóga gíocht immert. Agus is daithionach ar sin tá ag an gomman ar an counter more himplú. It's a particular privilege to have been invited in my capacity as Minister for Health and Children to the opening of this wonderful facility. I might say in the first instance that we're delighted to welcome to Cork and indeed to Douglas, the President of the Gaelic Athletic Association, Sean McCabe. We thank you very much for making such a long journey to be with us. And I take the opportunity of paying tribute to your leadership of the association at national level. We're going through an era of great change in Irish society, both at national level and on an all-island basis. And it's fair to say that under your leadership, the association has played a very progressive and influential role in those changes. And as we move forward in terms of the challenges facing society, particularly younger people growing up in our society, the centrality and importance of our Gaelic games has never been more important. And we appreciate the leadership you and your officers are giving at national level to the Games and moving us into a new century. And we pledge our support to you in that task. Could I also say that in terms of Douglas, the facilities that are now available are what a club of the size and scale requires. The number of people you are now catering for, from senior right down to underage level, is quite enormous. And you're in the heart of a huge area of the city and county of Cork. I mean, the population bulge of the last 10 years is all in this direction. And that places a huge challenge to the club in terms of ensuring that considerable opportunities are given to the young boys and girls of the area in terms of participation in our games. And you have not been found wanting in that respect. Your success at underage level has been quite phenomenal. Particularly again this year, I think your third under-14 title in a row, championship title, unprecedented, which augurs very well for the future of the club, may I say. And other clubs are looking on rather nervously in terms of the success rate that you're enjoying at underage level. And I'm hearing a lot about it because my nephew, of course, was on the under-14 team who were successful this year, and of course on the 16 championship title as well, and then your league titles under 12 and under 15, and then of course the victory at minor level when you won the minor premier title last year in football as well, which I think is a phenomenal achievement. We wish your seniors every success. I think you're playing Midton in a couple of weeks' time in the hurling, and Clyde Rovers next week in the football. And I think it's clear that the future looks very bright for the club. As long as the underage section of this club performs in the manner it is performing and the degree to which it's winning titles, it's only, in my view, a matter of time before breakthroughs will emerge right across the senior championship level for the club. And you know, this venue here, I think Derry mentioned, your chairman mentioned the conditions perhaps he held out in. Before I left, I called into my father back in Turner's Cross, and he said to me, you know, Douglas was always one of the great venues going back to the county football and hurling scene, because long before you had your Parky Rings or anything else, it was either the Athletic Grounds or it was Douglas where many of the great games were played. And so some of the greatest players that ever donned the Cork jersey played at this particular venue. And he said that, I'm sure Con Murphy, the former president of GAA, can vouch for that. But he said when he walked off the field from the Douglas pitch, there was only one tap of water, and you used that, he said, to rub the mud off your knees and your legs. So he said you might get people to reflect on that, he said, as you open the lovely new hall, gymnasium and facilities here today. I think it's illustrative that we're coming a long way in terms of providing facilities now for our young people, which I think is what we've always aspired to. And I think we will continue to try and improve, modernise and create the facilities for our young people into the future. Because in my opinion, the greatest thing we can give our young people is the opportunity to play sport. From their physical and mental health and mental well-being, it's the greatest weapon we have, given all the challenges that children and young people and difficulties face today. And as long as they're committed to sport and involved in sport, in my opinion, they will not go wrong. And that is why we owe such a great depth of gratitude to your coaches and to the many, many people who voluntarily come every weekend to give up their time to the children and young people of the area. Well done and congratulations. We salute you in your success and wish you the very best into the years ahead. Go to Mila Maha, give us the Nora of the club.
On the moon, Christopher Kuna.
Hardware. Ultron, we see Ultron coming to Glasgow, Top to Dala, for Lori, obviously an Arab, obviously called the Galer. And I'm killed she's bottom of weakest sport and coming down and put out she does a championship in youth. I guess two Gardagas, one more than common, and over Sawa, top the end of Griffin. Ladies and gentlemen, it's indeed a great pleasure for me to be here today to represent Munster Council along with my colleague Con Murphy. It's gratifying to see such tremendous work bearing fruit, and it's not just work of today but a work of many, many years of the founders of this great club and the tradition that's been carried on by those that came after them. Undoubtedly, what you see now is the fruit of labour of love. Work that has been put in at underage for many years has now the club at senior level in both hurling and football, and that's to be happily congratulated on that. And I know the facilities now you have available to you, that you go from strength to strength and strengthen the community and the association within the Douglas area. We would like to happily again congratulate you, wish you every success in the future, and I'm sure it won't be too long before a Church County title will come to Douglas.
Is Oakland Common Lucas Gael and Sean McKay.
I hear for in the moon, as if he come to Lucas Gael on shop, as Windsor come the Douglas and shop new, who shop from the live. It's more privileged done chop from Bula Les Nadini Ata. Ag déanamh an chumann seo láidir I gcónaí, na daoine an buntlach, na daoine tá ag gobars na clubna na cumann ar fud na tíre. Agus nuair a hapan mateachach nuair don tarnúir agus nuair a éicimar na fuirgnamh iontacha tá tógad is cinse bhfuil sprid iontacha an tráidhile bio fós. Beidir bhfuil an líon daoine sa cheantar imime suas atá an sprid cíanán seo sa tráidhile is a bhí gcónaí agus is beidir sin éicáil. Large amount of £276. They certainly were visionaries. It would be more difficult now maybe to get 276,000 than it was to get the 276 then. But it's interesting, and when the Minister was speaking, he referred to the great games that were here. I know that the Eurotron Con actually played his first game on this pitch out here. And that's a coincidence, and I'm delighted to see that he's here today. And with all the memories that he has, and that all others who are present have, of the great games that were here, it's obviously the tradition that has made this club strong and vibrant. You obviously have landmarks in any club, and the date of purchase of your ground is one. The date of winning your first championship, your intermediate hurling team of 22, and different other landmark years of successes from 62, 66, 83, 84. There are so many years right up to 97 going in the senior ranks of your football team and your intermediate hurlers of 2000, so that you're now competing at the highest level. But in doing that, and in the case of making these developments possible, it is sometimes feared that those who are so busy building the infrastructure don't look after the real important issue of promoting the games. And you have managed superbly, obviously, in the last 6-7 years, in the manner in which you have brought all your juvenile teams to such wonderful success. It was a real privilege for me to read your brochure of this year, which I have copied behind me, and your brochure of last year, looking at the marvellous games development that's been undertaken. And I commend you wholeheartedly for the manner in which you are continuing with the street leagues. For too often, we as an association have only creamed off the best and rejected the rest, like the ad for John West Salmon of a few years ago. We have been guilty in the past of only dealing with the elite. There are many children out there who are not going to be elite players, but they deserve the opportunity to play and the fun of, and the friendship, and the building of their self-esteem, irrespective of whether they're only able to play on a second team, third team, fourth team, or whatever. And certainly, in including your street leagues, you engaged something that is an old-fashioned style, and yet, in the urban sense, one that's very necessary. We are deeply concerned in the GAA at the urbanisation trend right across the country, and the lack of progression for us as an association in tackling the issues that has thrown up for us. You and Douglas obviously have seen the light. You have done the traditional way of keeping as many children playing as possible. You could have had no better location for your centre than next door to the boys' school or the School Nachalini and Sean Eckley. That those two schools, and linking in with them, your facilities and their facilities, to ensure that every child in this locality has the opportunity of experiencing hurling and football, camogie, that they have that opportunity. And in doing that, you are fulfilling our total reason for being in existence, the promotion of our games. I know that, and as I listened to the music earlier, we do recognise that we're not merely a games organisation. We do have a cultural side, and we do recognise that that too is equally important in this day and age, because we obviously recognise that if the GAA were not founded when it was, it would certainly need to be founded now. There are such influences coming in on our children through the medium of television in particular, and many other influences in the culture of Irish society today, where affluence has brought many problems. And it's vitally important that we play the role that we are playing, and that we do it with vibrancy, and that we do it in such a manner that all the young people can recognise
that they have an identity with this club and that they're proud to say they're from this club. And just as the Minister is proud to say that I can see his goalpost in the distance, I know that all of us recognise the sense of place that has made our association strong. And this sense of place is heightened by the fact that people of vision in the past bought property and developed it for us. And we hold that property for our use and our use only for the promotion of our games. And we have no apology to make for that. Because when the government of this country couldn't afford a sports infrastructure, when sporting wasn't at the cabinet table, sports items weren't at the cabinet table, we as an organisation had the foresight to build that infrastructure for sports facilities around Ireland. And I know that there's a growing trend, particularly within the media, that our facilities should be everybody's facilities. That's not my interpretation. My interpretation is everybody else that wants facilities, we wish them well in providing them for themselves. We have provided ours, and we have, as you well know, the 2 pitches you have are not adequate even for all the players that you would wish to cater for. And that's the way it is in my club, and that's the way it is in practically every club. And I can say categorically, we will not be changing our rules in relation to the use of our property. It must also be stated, and I know that when you look at what is being achieved here today, it wasn't achieved without people of foresight and people who have given wholeheartedly of their time. I don't know them all. Names of some of them I do know. People like Matt Toomey, Sean Downey, Dare Keane, and Darragh Regan, Eddie Murphy. There are numerous of them. It's dangerous to name any names when you can't name them all. But these people are people who I have met, whom I know have given an enormous contribution in a voluntary capacity to this association. And as we finish up the year of the volunteer, I find it particularly galling that people are more and more talking about moving away from the voluntary input and paying people to play the games. I certainly believe that our amateur ethos is something that you cherish. There is nobody in this club, I'm quite sure no more than in my own club, who are remotely interested in anything other than the fun that they get from the games, and our amateur ethos is the basis on which we have built that. And that is going to continue, because if we ever move away from that, then we self-destruct, because much wants more. We have seen that in every walk of life, and we're not going down that road. We're staying an amateur association not because it's a question of whether we can afford to pay or not, but because it's the right thing to do. It has made us strong, and voluntary input and voluntary workers in an association have a major, major contribution to make to Irish society, and we're continuing on that road. Hurling and football. I wish you well in that quest, and in the meantime, I applaud you for the manner in which you have spread the games to so many. I applaud you for the manner in which you have taken from the small beginning and retained the spirit that was born in the small dwelling house at the end of the laneway, that was born there and carried right through this club. And long may that continue. Long may you all derive the satisfaction that you derive from being members of the Douglas Club. And I'm quite sure that that satisfaction comes to you commensurate with the input that you have made. I wish you well. Go Kovarchkas Liverish, agus the Sullivan go made Vigilig and on vacant Sarriwad go made along Curran Ella Chocolate Shop. But it's not just cups alone that measure the success of a club. Rather, it's the satisfaction and pride that all of us get as voluntary people in doing what we believe to be the right thing for ourselves and for our country, promoting our games and our culture. Long may that continue.
Again. Now, in recognition of the President's visit with us, we'd like to make a token presentation to him. It's appropriate, it's a hurley, a nice water glass hurley. And to do the honours, we're asking our club president, Mr. Billy McCarthy, please. I'd like to call on the Reverend the PP, Reverend Father O'Regan and the Venerable Bantry White to do a blessing for us, please.
A reading from the letter of St. Timothy. Do you not realize that though all the runners in the stadium take part in the race, only one of them gets the prize? Run like that to win. Every athlete concentrates completely on training, and this is to win a wreath that will wither, whereas ours will never wither. So that is how I run, not without a clear goal, and how I box, not wasting blows on air. I punish my body and bring it under control to avoid any risk that, having acted as herald for others, I myself may be disqualified. This is the word of the Lord.
Let us pray. All glory and praise to you, O Lord. Lord, bless all who have gathered here on this Easter day to say thanks for all your gifts to us. We ask your blessing on this wonderful new facility. Bless those who designed it and planned it and built it. Bless those who will manage it and run it. Bless all the lively, energetic young people, the boys and girls, the young men and women of Douglas who will use it. Bless those who will exercise themselves here, who will acquire new skills for playing hurling and football and camogie, and who will build up friendships and team spirit here. May they grow up healthy and disciplined, strong and agile in limbs and body, the better able to participate in our own much-loved games and grace the field of play with honour. Gamani dian hala nua sha on a van gudi an var. Gamani she na fear is mana am teso a hugagan sha and clachta agus olavu das na tlehi gwelaka agus spillina nua a awla. Guminig sheer lan tanavas. Gamani dian forna na dukasha a feinolig san hala sha. Gamani she got a wheel the costa coming new class in the dukasha a dagrig agus a kuran hala sha ar foil doing. Agus Gamani she far oskate Sean McKay uchtran coming new class scale. Is kush more ahish doing on putting no new shot of anu.
Magashala. No. And now I'd like to call on the President of the Association to unveil the plaque, commemorative plaque on the wall for us, please. Our final piece will be to officially declare the building open and cut the ribbon. And ladies and gentlemen, and particularly young people, we have food for you as well. Don't disappear on us. Okay? Inside in the hall. Okay? And the rest of you, if you wish to go view the place, by all means, then retire to the pavilion where we'll feed you. We from Argyle, thanks for your patience.
don't go in the water. You have to go here, boys. I missed you. Smile to the camera, just look at the camera, that's all. Smile for the camera, Wilbert. You're alright, Pat. At least I don't think I got you. I got you buried too much.
Well, medals for the state.